Awesome, thank you very much, Puckett. Let's get straight into this one. The map is starting, of course, Embassy Hardpoint, the Vegas Legion versus the Florida Mutineers. The debut for the Mutineers here in CDL season 2023. There's not been a lot of positive feelings around this roster, but playing can put all that to bed.
Yeah, I think you look at this roster and you worry about the star power. Quite a lot of rosters have those players that do stand out to everybody. For the biggest Legion, it's Temp. Everybody would say towards him and KiSMET, those are the boys that are going to get things done, etc, etc. You know exactly the kind of player I mean. Florida Mutineers have kind of taken a risk here or there, it has to be said. But this guy on your screen, Røkkr, is one of the people that was in that team with Scrappy, that OpTic Academy team that did so well last year on the Challenger side of things. They pretty much won absolutely bloody everything. Pricey. And Røkkr was a massive part of that team. Can he make as much of an impact as Scrappy potentially could do on the Toronto Ultra roster? Let's find out. But the jury is still out on every single team at the moment. Florida Mutineers, it's their first chance to show.
I feel like there's almost a mental block around with Vegas Legion as well. Like, obviously last year was so bad for them. I just want to see them get some wins and go, okay, kind of mentally reset how we felt about them for quite some time. But at the moment, both teams just fighting for positioning on the minimap. You can see it. They're fighting around the back here, probably with a big kill, but Havoc is waiting. Just not able to get it, but that nade will certainly do some damage.
Hasn't caught him because Røkkr's did instead. Rotation over towards P2. Well and truly in the hands of the Vegas Legion. And to be honest with you, like I partially disagree with the point of the desk. I don't think anybody's sleeping on Vegas Legion by any stretch of the imagination. I think realistically they had a couple of decent moments here and there when it did come down to that game against Thieves yesterday. They could have actually won, and on the back of performances like this from TJ, this might help them out. 3 streak in a row now. The push comes on through. They've spawned for Mutineers. A bit of a split halfway across the map. They're already across over towards P2. This should be a good chunk of time. But as I said, there was a couple of moments here and there in those hard points that things didn't look too bad for the side of the Vegas Legion. Let's see if they can translate that into a win here against the Mutineers.
I've spotted something that I'll bring up later in the broadcast because it's quite funny, but we'll continue with the game for now. Yeah, we'll continue with the game for now. At the moment, this rotation to top AC, very, very important. Probably might get a little bit of timing here. Can he just get up this ladder first? Unfortunately, it's already been watched. Røkkr had it, but Clay just managed to get that gun down. There is an opportunity here for the Legion to get in position.
KiSMET, good kill. Comes on through now. These Legion have somebody in top office as well. This is absolute prime scenario. Getting over towards AC. This kill will be massive as well, but Røkkr keeps some presence here from the side of Florida, if only momentarily. I see it again, Pricey. I see it.
Yeah.
Thank God that's gone. Right, anyway. I'm both with KiSMET. We're top AC.
Let's just waiting this up. He knows the push is coming. Look for the power up, and Brad goes for the jump, but not able to get it done. Big rotation here from the Legion. They've managed to lock this one down, and it's going to be closer for a 1v1. This is 20 seconds on the point. Clay's got it all day. And now you can see the fight for the rotations. Oh, that's a bold shout. You had an M4.
It's questionable. It has to be said.
I mean, he's going to get the spawn now. He's got the spawn for next. That's probably better for him.
I mean, 10 seconds of time wouldn't have hurt him, but I mean, the rest of the Florida Mutineers are actually going to filter on through. Yeah, control of office. Spawns coming out now for the side of Vegas Legion. Major Maniac in a good position as well. So I'm going to rotate back towards the back now. KiSMET is ready and waiting though after the push over into top office, but still control here for the side of the Florida Mutineers. Vegas Legion, it's a bit of a split across the board actually, because KiSMET pushing towards the back, that's spawning Mutineers out, but with Vegas Legion still spawning towards the tennis courts as well, it creates a little bit of chaos. Can Brack revel in that chaos now? Finds one under KiSMET, cannot find anything else. It's a chaotic break from the side of Vegas Legion. Havoc trying to say something about it here though.
Trying to fight this one back into it. They know only one player is left, but that player is going to be Temp. Reinforcements from the Legion flying in, but so's Major Maniac. Gets absolutely eviscerated. And now we are going for the rotation. You can already see on the minimap there, Clace is headed off, and he's going to find Havoc. Who comes out on top? I think they've missed each other. A little bit of COD timing coming down.
Fight around this outside. Get over all of that kitchen spawn can be important. Give me one more player. Kicking in and around it. That's going to be TJ. Just waiting on the outside win for the rest of his team to get into a position. Very patient.
Oh, the timing.
Oh, God, that sucks if you have it in that situation. TJ now in prelude for backup. But here come the rest of the Mutineers. Røkkr with it first on the chopping block, and Brack will be the second. Fantastic work by Legion, and it's a pretty extensive lead now, has to be said, but things can be brought back very quickly on aBeZy. This moment in time, though, Vegas Legion well and truly in the driving seat here.
They're trying to hold down the back here, but comes out of ADS, and that's going to put a bit of a problem in. And TJ just trying to get that pre-fire down with no health. Probably they're going to jump into it as well, but he will be gunned. And Trade's flying fast and furious here as both teams fly everything at it, but it will be Temp again on a 3 streak now. Locks down this last little bit of time, and both teams now repositioning, ready for that P1 to P2 flip.
P2 control in the hands of the Florida Mutineers for now. Just looking at it though, it just feels like Vegas Legion are the ones finding the kills at the right moments. They managed to find the breaks through. It was all kind of TJ heading over towards Kitchen when the hold on the outside waited for the rest of his team to get into a position to break with him. And it's an extensive lead of about 90 points. On the side of the Florida Mutineers, things looking a little bit rusty so far. Let's pay attention to it throughout. See which way, why things are going wrong for them, because right now though, every single gunfight, it just feels like Vegas Legion have that slight edge.
Well, an edge they do have in this map, but let's find out how they are feeling in the comms. With the Vegas, listen in.
Top left, back, top bath, window, top bath, absolute. Top left, look at window. Okay, I'm looking. I'm gas ready, boys. Nothing gas on me. Yo, top right window now, one bottom red, Havoc. Bottom red, Havoc, you can flank gas. Yeah, there's two guys.
I'm taking the fucking route. I'm going around the back.
They're gonna be spawning Zonda. Just he's back truck on me, back truck. Don't not be down. Yeah, on that truck. Yeah, Tom got me. Laying down back to Tom. Laying down back to Tom. Back truck weak. Get nades. Trophy that nade back dubs. Yo, one is mid you. One is mid you. Going one shot back dubs. One shot still. One shot dubs. Low back. He's low back. You're dead, Don. Nothing on you.
He's super weak,
I think.
I have a precision armor user here.
Back all the way dead, bro. And one spawned that time. He's wide. One is time. One is time. Last one's time.
Well, the Legion are leaving the Mutineers in the dust at the moment, but maybe a bit of miscommunication as Clayton against TJ. But speaking of communication, let's find out how the Florida Mutineers are feeling with their very own. Listen in.
Alright, they're spawning flowers. Someone cut Xbox. Someone cut Xbox.
Already knew.
They might spawn orange.
I can't spawn flowers. They spawn flowers. I saw them spawn.
I'm coming, Mike. Here's me, hard son. I'm gonna flank this.
Okay, go for it.
I'm looking over here.
I'm nading. Office.
Behind the AC.
I'm challenging AC. I'm behind AC over there. AC dead. I'm flanking office. I'm flanking office. Try to stay down. Office for you. Orange. They could be going to orange. That's 4. I blocked spawning gas then. That's 4 dead.
Okay, I'm one shotting on Mike.
I'll get an orange for you.
I'll get your ladder, boys. I'll go your ladder.
I have your orange.
Okay, I'm shorting my bridge.
One's office on me. Quiet. Got him office.
I go your. I still have your
orange.
60, we're back in the game. Come on.
Orange got me.
One sign. 2 flowers dead.
Orange, right side. No, one more trees in orange. Nice. Let's go trees. Orange. One hit back out.
Orange dead.
One hit orange back out. I'm trying to go new.
Okay.
I think flowers. Flowers right now. Orange. No weak. Carson.
I haven't even left the orange.
Orange dead.
New dead.
Flowers.
One more new. Let's go. I'm gonna do the
The Mutineers are spitting in the comms, and speaking of which, Brack is doing the exact same thing. 6 streak for him. It is a clawback of every single point they've lost so far. They bring it within a tiny distance, but this rotation could be everything.
And again, for the side of Vegas Legion, you cannot let the ladder push come in. It's such an easy thing to watch. In that scenario, well played from Major Maniac. He's the one that finds the break, but I mean, that might be just a glimmer of hope that's been given to the side of Florida Mutineers. It's another 2 kills for Brack, though. That might just give them a little bit more purchase as the push comes through to Office. Here comes the bait and switch. One player around the outside waiting. That's going to be Prolude. This plays this absolutely wonderfully. Kind of baiting these teammates out in a certain kind of way, but just staying alive in and around the hard point and helping his team coming in back in the spawns. Prolude putting more kills down. That's 4 in a row for him now. The push from the side from the Florida Mutineers not going to work out. Make it 5. Is it going to be 6 for Prolude? TJ there to help him clean that one up, but nonetheless, a great hold from Vegas Legion. Florida Mutineers now. It's going to be 40 points for the Vegas Legion. Still a solid 90 away from the win for Florida. They need a good hold here at Kitchen.
Keeps going, gets out with a knife. You're not going to win the gunfight with that out. And now the rotation. This is always a little bit of a blitz here as we go into the kitchen. Both teams will usually throw a lot of bodies at this point once they get close. At the moment, though, the Mutineers have pushed this map out significantly. They do have a bit of breathing room.
Curious on the setup. Typically when it does come down to things, having somebody in and around orange is a good sign for holding down towards kitchen. Temp though will deal with Brak, and he's going the upper route here. They're going to try and break the spawns over towards the back kitchen. Keep an eye on where Florida are spawning all the way back towards car park. If you have Florida in the hill, you have to stay alive. Vehicle Major made it. Good job so far. There's 2 kills. Temp pushing around the side. Havoc coming in off the respawn. There's a bit of a pinch set up automatically. It's now a 10-point lead.
It is. This is great from Mutineers. They have fought back every single step of the way. Vehicle. And they are going to take the lead off of this. Maybe one last chow coming through. Vehicle trying to hold it off, but that is a 2 chow, and they have lost it. Legion will hold on for the smallest of margins. But we go back to P1 and a potential P2 finish.
And P1, we have seen teams picking up a decent amount of time here. If you can get the top catwalk locked in, well, I mean, it's going to be a problem when you've got a missile coming on your head, though. Here we go. Brak sending this one through. There is Temp straight back to the respawn queue. That's going to be a lot harder now for Vegas Legion to lock in some time. And it is Florida Mutineers with the respawn over towards P2.
Havoc just trying to lay down so they can't get it, but TJ's going to say, all right, thank you very much, but the trade comes in once again. P1 is not really giving anybody any strength of time. Neither team can win it there either. So they are both going to be thinking about this rotation. Who can get it? Who can get in the right position? Mutineers at the moment have more bodies up, but they don't want to give away all of this time by the look of it.
They don't want to give away their spawns here either. Actually still towards the back, but if you keep an eye on KiSMET, he's in a good position to maybe disrupt this. You can see the spawn out coming in over towards the court side, so they know that KiSMET's pushing behind. You've got to win the gunfights though. It's Major Maniac towards the back. It's the office spawn for Florida Mutineers. Vegas Legion 10 away. Mutineers can still win here over towards P2.
That kill from Clay may have been just enough to open this up for them. There's got to be points coming in. The Mutineers have to push. Brackets 2. TJ coming for a second as well, and Clay gets a third. They're jumping straight on the point. Major Maniac guns him down, but he's the last player there. They just have to get into it. Major has to jump in, and Temp guns him down as well. And the Legion take the hard points. Mutineers fought back over and over again, but they were just too far behind, and it's a clutch up in the end.
It's a clutch up. It was kind of needed. It was such a strange game. It just felt like Vegas Legion were always in control. Florida Mutineers come screaming back in. I feel like we're going to see that a lot on aBeZy. 60s are not the easiest thing in the world to come by, but you string a couple of hills together and all of a sudden things can turn around. How many times have we seen it get to AC and that's where things can change? Florida Mutineers were so far behind, they brought it back, but no cigar, I should say. I'm tired. It's getting late, pricey already. But
I'll be honest with you,
I think there was still signs of life there from the side of Florida Mutineers, but Vegas Legion did well to close it out.
Yeah, 100%. And I also think, you know, that play from Clay towards the back, what it actually did was open up the car park for Legion to basically just kind of swoop in. And from that point, they got a lot of kills. Huge amount of slaying going on from them as well. It was close towards the end until Major come back into it. We always spoke about Vehicle. There was a lot of kind of chaining together of those points, but hey, a little bit of ice there from the Legion in the end, and they walk away with that first map point.
Yeah, a little bit of ice. Very even kills across the board as well. It just felt like that, especially in the first half, in the first rotation, every single big gunfight that needed to be won by Vegas kind of was. TJ finding 2 pretty much in this exact same spot, if anything. So he must be pushing through bottom office and just kind of playing around that area with all the cuts there and trying his best to sort of cause havoc in those areas. We'll probably see it towards the end there as well, but Temp picking up 3 over towards kitchen at this stage. It was just looking like a very, very comfortable game for the side of Vegas Legion, but it turned into anything but in the end. Havoc and Co just breaking over towards AC. I wonder if we'll get to see it at this moment in time. This is the second time around. It's P2 for TJ. That's when he's getting the job done. This is where Brak popped off, headed TJ over towards P3. But yeah, TJ had a game.
I mean, TJ was giving them the hand so much they took away his arms in his profile picture. Like, that's it. It's just insane. Trying to nerf my boy, but yeah, real good play from him. There was some question marks coming into the season. At the moment, that question has certainly been answered. He looked good when we saw him in scrims, actually. We did watch some of the Vegas Legion before the season started, and he seems to be enjoying this game.
Yep, enjoying himself on this Vegas Legion roster. I said I don't feel like it's, you know, surprising to see them come out with that win. I think, you know, As said, the majority of the game, they looked a lot more comfortable than the scoreline will maybe allow you to admit. But, you know, up against Thieves, they didn't look too bad. I think, you know, we talked about the break that we see on Mercado Hardpoint that came through from Thieves. It was one of the best moments we've seen in Hardpoint from one of these top teams. We may well get to see some sort of breaks if we do get to see a map number 4. The Vegas Legion, I think, I spoke about it on Twitter. This is an important game because both these two teams have got very, very difficult lineups and schedules when it comes down to it. And this, for both two teams, is arguably on paper their easiest game. So this is one that you must go on and do well in. If you're the Florida Mutineers, that's a disappointing loss, but they're definitely starting to warm into the game a little bit more. Let's see if they can continue that in the Search and Destroy.
Yeah, well, obviously, we did say we do see an awful lot of, I'll say, well-rehearsed setups from Vegas Legion yesterday. And I think moving forward, that's where they could potentially really start making a name for themselves. But, you know, before this, we did speak about Major Maniac, and his teams usually are very good at S&D as well. This is the crazy thing about the start of the season. We're all just benchmarking. We're all just trying to figure out exactly what each team has in the tank. We all know there's been some surprises already in the CDL over the last couple of days, and who knows what's coming next.
Well, that's it. I think you never really know. I mean, look, last year I think prime example, we headed in to the first online game, and then it was coming down to it, saying, oh yeah, London are the worst team. They came out and actually smoked at the time the Florida Mutineers really quite badly. So I think that kind of situation is one of those where it's always easy to say based off scrims, but you can only do so much for your predictions based off scrims. We've seen some good performances from Vegas Legion over the past month when we have seen their scrims, as we said, and it kind of has translated into what you would expect in terms of their level. But it's hard to say. It really is difficult to say. But the Florida Mutineers, they don't look too stressed about the situation right now. 1-0 down. Search and Destroy coming up. Let's mix it up and see how they do. But yeah, I'm intrigued to see how the rest of the series does go down, because the Florida Mutineers definitely had their moments there, and it could have been in a bit of a better situation if it wasn't for clear around the back, and because of all the initial time that Vegas Legion get. Again, that's me number 2 on the tally. I'm going to be leading the way. I mean, in fairness, we have had 2 of Vegas Legion's games, so I feel like we need to do it on an average level of how many calls we're going here. But yeah, I think Florida Mutineers had their moments there. Let's see if they can change things around when it comes to the Search and Destroy.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be a fight back for them as well. Like I said, the kind of general feeling about this roster wasn't as high as some of the others, and especially with things like Big Wake, they're doing so well on that Boston team. There are going to be some questions asked towards the end, but also on the other side, Vegas Legion, yesterday they didn't really have any pressure. We said that you're playing LA Thieves. Nobody really expects you to win it, and we thought they made some mistakes around the map. They even went on social media afterwards and said, hey, we think we've made a lot of mistakes in various places here. That's something we can fix and probably play better. Against the Florida Mutineers, I think a lot of people have got Legion to take this. So this is a real testing ground for them. This is a game they should win. 10 points still on the line. The race to the end of the season has already begun. We know last year how many teams missed out by 10 or 20 points. You don't want to give them away here if you don't have to.
No, absolutely. You don't want to give them away. And yeah, I think realistically, a lot of people would have had Vegas coming into this one. But as I said, for both these two teams, in terms of their schedule, before we head over towards Major 1, you want to be giving yourself that best position possible in terms of the seeding, etc., in terms of obviously your CDL points towards the end of the year. This is pretty much both of these two teams' easiest game on paper so far anyway. So look, I think there's still potential for this Vegas Legion squad specifically. Of course, we've seen them play Thieves yesterday, so that was maybe one that's a little bit more difficult to put a marker on. Like, Thieves looked really, really good. Vegas Legion, I said, had their moments. So can they continue? I think what would be good for the Vegas Legion here is a comfortable win against Florida. I think that would really put a good statement for themselves out there to sort of say, yeah, look, these are the teams that we expected to compete with. We're doing well against them, and that's a good enough start to maybe give us that indication.
Yeah, and I also want to talk a little bit about Priestahh. It's really easy to talk about Priestahh, one of the greatest of all times, but obviously last year had to sit out probably the most kind of pro-level games he's ever had to sit out, essentially. And now comes back into the league with the Legion. And I kind of am very curious about what his headspace is. Obviously, he still loves this and he still wants to compete at this level. But it's always going to be a bitter pill to swallow what happened to him last year on New York. The fact that he had to sit back and watch. And he must be just, you know, so hungry right now. Really, really wanting to put on a very good show everybody he still has it. He's been talking about it in the weeks coming up to this, you know, oldest in the league and all that kind of stigma that comes with it. To see him come into this, I mean, we've made jokes, right? You know, throw him to the walls, he'll come back leading the Legion, that sort of thing. And we'll see how he does now.
Look, it's a change of mentality, though, isn't it? I mean, KiSMET has always, as far as I can at least remember, been one of those players fighting for championships. Every single event he's at, every single game he's in, he has a chance to win it. Maybe it's a slight shift in mentality, and I don't think that's any... I'm trying not to have too much disrespect towards the Vegas Legion, but I don't know if they're that team yet. And it's about building that squad up once again to try and put them in that position. We've seen some glimpses of what they could potentially bring to the table. Their S&D game yesterday against Thieves was solid. As I said, those hard points, a hill here or there, it swings a different way. We're back over towards Search Industry. Again, Bryce, it's getting late. You need to help me here. My brain is...
Don't worry, we've never liked you for your brain anyway, but at the moment the push is about to come in. You can see both teams are about to just collide. Havoc's going to have his teammates. KiSMET has already got that first blood. Havoc looking for this one. Up top, and that is a spot that people will certainly start using already. It's a collapse. The Legion already just losing so many players. Probably left alone. The trade will come through, and that is a fast round.
And I'm not going into the mosh pit after this, because that is something I personally haven't seen yet. Havoc with the little jump up. Not a lot of people out, but a lot of aggression coming through from both two teams, and that's something typically we will see quite a lot when it comes down to Mercado Search and Destroy. The pre-nades coming over. If you can escape them, sometimes you may end up getting into these gunfights a little bit tagged up. Vehicle finding the kill there towards the end. Well played. Florida Mutineers trying to bounce back as quickly as they possibly can. Brack with the sniper. We did see the big boomstick get used in the previous round. I didn't kill with it. A little bit of an alternative push here from the side of Mutineers through the mid-map.
But going to be in a good position and catch a TJ. Wait a minute. Absolutely not. He's in the side swipe, not going to go through. A vehicle is just throwing bullets down to try and stay alive. Reinforcements for the Mutineers coming in as well. A 3 versus 3. And they're just being very, very careful about it. They know they don't have control of this site yet.
Oh, okay, Brack. Just peeking the angle, and all of a sudden that really does open things up to the side of Florida Mutineers. Major Maniac ready and waiting. It's always a hard gunfight for Temp. KiSMET now will be pushing from the side that you would probably expect if you're Florida Mutineers. There's the child. There's another round. 2-0 now.
Well, they are locking this down at the moment. The Legion don't really have an answer. Let's see whether or not they can do something a little bit different, maybe, and not get caught. It does seem like Mutineers have some strategies that are working out, playing around that sniper. It does put them ahead here, which is a big regain for them. 2-0 currently on the S&D, but 1-0 down in the series. So do Legion try and change it up here? Do they worry about that S&D play coming in? Looks like a pretty standard hit from them again, straight down the back alley towards A.
We'll see this 9 times out of 10 when it does come down to it on Mercado.
Did it again. Havoc. Oh.
Yeah, there he is. KiSMET will fall. Probably will trade though. It's a 1-for-1, 3 versus 3. That sounds coming in. Stun going out. Proloop in trouble, but does have some cover. TJ with the first to drop. Does he know that Proloop is there as well? Yes, he does. Shots are in. Havoc just about surviving and finding a third. Looking for the ace now with Temp. Alive and kicking still. He's stunned up. He's in trouble.
Yeah, they've got him. They've got him. Havoc says thank you very much. This house is all mine. I know the tricks, I know the tips, and I know every inch of this place. They just cut them the ribbons.
I believe that was the ace. Coming in from Havoc. That's got to be a nice feeling. Finds one for the entry. One bottom of the stairs, one round behind the bar in the final kill down alley. Vegas Legion really struggling to deal with the control around this site. I'm not too sure if it's time for a possible change up, but while Florida Mutineers, for all that they've had success, say, well, let's just change it up ourselves. It's going to be down to KiSMET to slow them down here.
Wow. KiSMET will be the man that has to call this one out. Good to see one. He's just trying to just get anybody he can. can, puts bullets into every single player. But none of them go down. Reinforcements from them coming in now, but Havoc already gets one. Clayster does eventually get that trade. And now he's waiting oh so patiently. Who wins this next gunfight?
Bombs in the position though. That can be moved over towards the site. But keep an eye on number 8. If you're Florida Mutineers, you're just trying to stay alive here. Back on his way round. Oh, the bad timing, TJ. Well, even the odds, 2 versus 2.
Both teams just slowing this down here, but Vico is going to make a move. I'm going to see if he can get this plant down. Is he going to be checked? It might be a difficult get out here, because as soon as he goes down, they're going to check it. No, he's actually going to push it, and Vico does get the kill straight off the bomb as well. TJ left alone in a 1 versus 2. The stun comes in. He's in so much trouble as the nade comes around as well. Not only do they now know where he is, but he has to go through a choke point. Somehow manages to get through just enough. Vico's going to call that one out. He has to shoot 2 different directions, and the Mutineers lock it up.
Search and destroy looking almost flawless from the Mutineers now. And I honestly just love the patience for the play for Brack to come around from behind. They kind of time it wonderfully, but then he gets terrible timing as he pushes through to dark. It's an unfortunate gunfight, doesn't go his way, but it does not matter in the end. Clayster, I want to say maybe 3 bullets from finding 3 kills. Everybody tagged, everybody weak, but not quite able to finish any one of his 3 courses that was presented to him. Here we go though, Paris, Vegas, second time's the charm. Shots coming in, Clayster will find one, TJ another, 4 versus 2.
Havoc is going to be inside though. He was a problem last time, and this time Product will shut him down. Brack is waiting for anything, but gets caught as well. Not a single kill for Florida there. Vegas made a bit of a difference and have managed to get a point on the board. A long way back still.
First blood's very influential there. And once you get control of the cantina, it's so difficult to get it back. If you are the defensive side, you can sort of watch the bomb site from in and around the plant pots, but it's still difficult because it's wide open for a peek from top cantina. It's so difficult. But heading in to round number 6, it's still Florida Mutineers in the commanding position. Temp yet to find the kill on the board. Big hit coming in.
They've got a lot of nades going down, and they are struggling. You can already see Vegas are going aggressive. They're trying to change this one. Unfortunately, Vico already gets that first blood. Pro now doesn't really have anybody to trade for him. Might have to back up. Doesn't want to give away map control, but doesn't have too many options available to him.
Clayster's the one that can flex around if he needs to. Probably will find 2 though. My goodness, how's he got away with that? Major Maniac feels like he has to trade, and Clayster's got some horrible time in the mid-map. Røkkr will find him. It's all of a sudden not 1 versus 1 against Temp.
Temp hasn't had the hottest of S&D so far. And now they will find each other in this building at some point. COD timing may be the difference. I think Temp may have heard him. Now he's waiting for it. Neither of these 2 players have full information about where the other might be. Temp's wondering, did he go B maybe?
Røkkr playing this one nice and slow, but Temp time is very much on his side. Røkkr knows he needs to plant. Temp will lie in wait, and here we go. It's the easiest check possible for Brack. He's read it completely. Oh my goodness me. Temp still wins the gunfight. A stressful situation for the Legion as they bring it back. Oh,
Brack must have heard him.
He must have heard him.
Could have been disastrous, but they get away with it. Another point for Vegas Legion. It's getting a little bit more tense. I thought it was going to be a bit of a blowout, but they're fighting back.
Temp finding these first 2 kills of the game, and 2 very, very important ones. Going to be a B hit here. Gets no info in mid. Yeah, Clayster's got this free.
Depends how this rotate goes. Already going for it. There's going to be a little bit of trouble for it. TJ goes straight down, but it will be traded. Probably stunned as well. Nays just ricocheting everywhere, and he's going to end up getting it. Oh, but there's Temp! Temp looking for it. It gets the second one as well, and it's now down on the Havoc. A 1 versus 2. Oh, the timing, the timing, the timing! Havoc finds Temp. It's now KiSMET left alone in a 1 versus 1, and Havoc is sprinting as fast as he can, trying to catch this one as well, and the timing on Clay might be perfect. Oh my goodness, slowly but surely KiSMET has crept out of his vision.
And Havoc had popped Daddy there to get himself round, and I think KiSMET, he might have seen the back end of his booty going around the corner, but that's about it. Havoc doesn't quite see him, and all of a sudden KiSMET is in a better position, but Havoc, is he going to hold?
KiSMET is crawling around. Oh my goodness. Oh, he's going to see him. KiSMET is going to go for the bomb here. Is he going to check in the left? No, he goes straight over. Did Havoc see it? Havoc did see it. He did, and there it is. The noise gets heard by KiSMET, but it's not going to be enough.
And that's big plays from Havoc. Gets the timing on the player on the bomb site initially and finds the route round using the dead silence to get himself in a fantastic position. It's another round for the Florida Mutineers. Looking so strong in search and destroy here. KiSMET will be disappointed about that one. A really good map number 1 from himself, finding themselves quite far behind the search and destroy. 5-2 Florida Mutineers. It's no chance to close this one out. Get a few goes at it.
Havoc this time catches him, and it may all be over on this S&D. It's already 3 go down. KiSMET will have to clutch, but doesn't even get an opportunity. Gets ripped to bits as soon as he goes mid. Jumps straight into a sniper scope.
That was a smoke show. Florida Mutineers, all the way through for every single round, felt like they were in the most advantageous position. But for the side of Legion, it felt very sloppy at times. I want to say there was so many kills that, I mean, even in that last round, there's nobody watching mid. It's a free push from Havoc. He pushes all the way through. It's the easiest of kills in the easiest of rounds that coming through. A 10 and 5 from him. First blood's, well, shed completely. The 8 rounds that we had, 4 go towards each team. Florida Mutineers find those clutch situations whilst they need to find them, and fantastic work from Mutineers, and specifically from Havoc. That ace that he found, those opening kills that he finds for the most of them on his team. Fantastic work from him.
Yeah, they weren't really able to deal with basically Havoc just moving around them, and the clutch scenarios didn't really go their way either. Just a very, very simple S&D there for Florida Mutineers. They basically had it in the bag.
Yeah, really, really solid. And I think that's all set to precedent. You know, their S&D game is something they've clearly worked on. A very strong team at that one. You always expect it with Havoc in that squad for the S&D to be strong. But for the side of Vegas Legion, now they have to bounce back. Control coming up. We haven't seen an LSE from either one of these two teams, obviously. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in map number 3.
It certainly will. Well, all that and more coming up after the break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more Call of Duty League.
The Call of Duty League sends out amazing newsletters before each major tournament, curated with premium content for CDL fans. Scan the QR code on the screen to sign up today. You'll not only get the latest CDL updates straight to your inbox, you'll also be entered to win a free 2023 team pack.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Call of Duty League. You join us in a game between Vegas Legion and the Florida Mutineers, currently tied up 1 apiece. Hardpoint for the Legion, S&D for the Mutineers. And speaking of S&D, Havoc was a monster on that last one. Not only was he just controlling everything he needed to, but that big brain play around, but with Clay, popped the Deddy, went for the wrap, and just waited him out.
Yeah, 1v2 and Ace in there as well. Havoc absolutely taking over on the search and destroy. Fantastic work by the Florida Mutineers. Honestly, throughout, it just seemed like they were in control. Legion may well have been trolling on occasions as well. Like, there was just a few moments here and there that you would like to see some rounds go back their way. That 1v2 is definitely one they'll look back on, and all of a sudden, instead of 6-2, it's 5-3. And that's much more of an achievable game. But Major Maniac, game number 1. Overall in this series, I should say a 1.42. Need to continue that kind of form if they want to have a chance here heading into the control. Because when it came down to Hardpoint, definitely the side of the Vegas Legion looking a lot stronger. Potential comeback was on the cards, but control, a very different story. So now we head into it once again. Who's going to take a lead in this series heading into map number 4?
Well, I don't think a lot of people are very positive around Legion on control. We'll have to see if anything's got better for them. No, Trey's going down as well. Clay's not able to get the second one there. Vehicle does manage to get it. He knows players are going to be around him already, trying to just stop that time. Get this first tick through. Has enough reinforcements to make it happen.
I've been kicking here as well. Trophy about to come up. Good position to be in with it. Stay alive in the next couple of gunfights, that would be good. Brack does have the cover. Temp still in and around. Up top, Lockers clears to that's a big grenade. Brack is still alive and kicking, but they're gonna find the kills. Vehicle with another couple, and that is it, gone. And that was fast, Pricey. They've got a full 2 minutes to try and get a hold of B, and a 5 life advantage as well.
Yeah, well, I did say before this, Legion weren't exactly the favored in the control. But getting A and getting B is a very different story. They still have the opportunity to take this round. They just have to hold on.
Just looking, yeah, by the way, it's just so spread out.
Makes the first move, trying to hold this one down. Havoc gets a kill. Temp gets one back though, and it does mean Mutineers are stalling a little bit here. They want to get some more bodies up, make it a little bit chaotic, try and push them back, but at the moment they are not doing it.
You don't need to necessarily be too quick about things here if you're the side of Mutineers, but you really do need to get some mid-map control. Prolute has really slipped the net all too easily there. Know there's some players inside a group, but now Prolute's in a bit of a sticky position. They know he's here. They could do with clear him out before they start making this push forward, but they've cleared out the middle of the map, so they want to push forward. If they can find this kill at Prolute, that would be absolutely massive. Staying alive is just paramount for him, and he's done so well to find a kill into Vehicle. So Prolute's doing a good job of staying alive towards the back. The rest of the team can then clear up towards the front. Fantastic job so far by the Vegas Legion.
Yeah, they are playing this so well. I said Florida seem to be a little bit hesitant. They don't really want to up the tempo of this control, and Slow and Steady can win the race, and maybe a wrap round here could be the difference. Keep an eye on Temp. Havoc's there. Major Maniac is there. One of them is going to push out. As fights are going on at the moment, Legion still have complete control.
It's about the players in the right position, staying alive at the right times, and well, that was none of the above. Temp now has to find something. A couple of kills would be beautiful. Finds absolutely nothing, and all of a sudden, if you're Legion, you're in Narnia, you're sprinting out of the cupboard, and you're just trying to get anywhere near the point. That is went so fast. See you later. Into round 2 we go.
Oh wow, we said they were slow, but sometimes slow is smooth, and smooth is always fast. Unbelievable. The 4 stack. They get the wipe. They all jump on. Trophies come flying out, and that's it. It's done before they can get back in.
And because they find those kills halfway up the map, it makes it so much easier just to stack that point. You find the kills, you move forward, you jump on it. As soon as Temp was dealt with, that's 4 down. You're all screaming at each other. You know where they're spawning, and it is so far away. tough break for the Vegas Legion, because honestly, after losing A so quickly, they defended B really well, but 1-4 dead, and it could be game over in control. Havoc getting aggressive towards the office. Dead to right here with 60 in HP will go down, and it's going to be Vegas Legion now making their push over towards A.
At the moment, Legion aren't really finding anything. They're getting some mid-map control. Brack trying to see if he can catch anybody off the respawn. Not at the moment. He knows nobody will be here. Might wrap round, but now Clace is going to go down as well. Major Maniac's behind them. TJ's got to look several different directions. He knows where these players are going to be. Down he goes. Major Maniac gets out at the same time. The Legion not looking as cohesive as they could be. Temp does get a kill. That's going to hold it down for them for just a second. Vehicle comes flying in, but Temp guns him before he could do any damage.
I think that was a desperation play coming in from Vehicle to maybe just try and do something over towards A. Job is done though for the side of Legion. 1 minute and 50 seconds to make a push over towards B. Can they find something themselves after Florida Mutineers dispatch of them rather fast? Towards the end of that round, at least, anyway. Perlut now trying to make some noise, trying to find something towards the backside. Major Maniac, though, you can see himself all the way over towards green. He's going to have a little bit of extra company here. If you can find the kill at the Temp as well, that's going to really slow things down. Having a look in your mini-map, there's going to be Temp who wins the gunfight and then gets traded once again. Major Maniac doing well. Both two teams kind of just spread all over the place here, looking to find anything they can to give themselves an opening. Right now, it's looking more like Florida Mutineers' defense is going to hold strong.
Closer, looking to see if he can catch anybody. Does find Vehicle as well. Now going back to the site. Waiting for reinforcements, waiting for these kills to come through. He's in a very dangerous position. See what's going around. That's a big gunfight. Tem ends up winning it, gets away with his life as well. And now the Legion are moving on to B. They have the numbers here. Because they cut off on the respawn. It's going to be a fight, but it's knife versus gun, and it doesn't work out for them. Havoc cuts down Temp. And Clayster has to try and plug the hole that's been left.
Gotta go here. That tick is coming in.
Oh, they left the second tick.
Oh yeah, well that's right. Streak coming in. That's going to slow things down. Florida very much committing everything to holding down this defensive round. Let's give them an opening to get back inside the point now. And you can see Major Maniac pushed up, dies though, as does Havoc. And now all of a sudden Vegas Legion can push up to the point once more.
TJ on that box that Cammy was yesterday. Very, very difficult kill, and there's so many guns against him. Brack desperately trying to get that one as well, but Legion will walk away with it. Both offenses won so far here in this control. It's tied up at 1-1 again. And Legion look comfortable.
I don't know, it just always feels like you have to overextend with a defensive player to try and put some pressure on. You're always making that push over towards green to try and just slow the team down who are trying to make this push. And then all of a sudden, as soon as you lose that gunfight, you have no presence in the map. It almost feels like you need to kind of do that with everybody. You need to get mid-map control with everybody and kind of just cut off the head of the snake, so to speak, and then retrieve back. Because it feels like, especially if these two teams are sending somebody forward, and then all of a sudden, as soon as they die, there's no plan B. There's none. This moment in time, though, plan A for the side of Florida Mutineers is going to have to be get out your spawn, because Vegas Legion have found those kills, and they are all pushed up halfway through the mid-map.
Wow, they are really just laying it onto them at the moment. They want to try and get a little bit of a spawn trap going, but it's not going to happen for them. There's no just try and stay alive as long as possible. Temp gets the kill again and gets out. They're just trying to keep them on the back foot, but A is slowly but surely ticking towards them now. There is advantage to Legion if they can close this properly, but it's not easy to do.
Oh, well played from Robert. Sniffs Havoc out. They're starting to come in for Legion once more. Mutineers not done and dusted in this round just yet. The advantage that they did have after that first round completely negated by the fact that Legion do it straight back to them. Vehicle, though, does well, finds two. Temp in a position to maybe help his teammates out here. But again, just being a nuisance, that's probably one of the most underrated, I want to say, roles that some players do play when it does come down to control. Being a nuisance, being a pest, being a pain in the ass, Pricey. That's what you got to do.
Yeah, and you can see, I mean, Temp was on a streak there at the time. Just trying to get as many kills as possible. Give them every opportunity to shut down this attack by Florida, who are now looking for it. Brack already looking if he can keep this door open for his teammates, but TJ's all the way in their spawn. There are a lot of things Florida have to do before this goes well for them. First of all, take down Temp. Looking for him. Oh, unfortunately, Clayster is going to get a better timing onto that one as well, but Major Maniac ends up killing his own teammate, and that may shut down the push for a minute.
Just back out there. That fight very, very wisely. But again, here for the side of Vegas Legion, you've got nobody pushed forward now. So you're all sort of sitting back, waiting for the push to come. Through the mid-map, 2 players starting to make their moves, though. Temp already around, playing the route, finding the flanks, finding the kill as well. Working out the way for his teammates to deal with that as Clayster will fall. But again, good map control this time around for Vegas Legion. They've committed more men to it, and they have a healthy life lead as well.
You know what? I don't hate this. You know, Temp is always going to try and sniff out a kill on any single map, so letting him go a bit rogue, run around, be a nuisance, and just slay and do what he does best can work out for them. But 20 seconds left already. There's 3 down. Florida may have found something in the dying seconds. Probably managed to get 1 back here. Not a 4-stack coming in. They're not going to be able to do it again. At this time, the Vegas Legion are sprinting across this map. They want to be in the right position. Scared of a stack. Prolog with a huge gunfight as the rest of the Legion put the squeeze on.
If your vehicle, you need to get in a position to help your teammates out from up top, but Major Maniac's doing the job himself. There's 1 tick over towards B. Havoc will find another. Brack, though, how on earth have you done that? They've done it again.
All dump on, all hit it, and it's Florida. They just wait to the dying seconds and snap into action. And just the kills were not going down for the Legion. That's the second time it's happened to them. And well, it does mean the Legion are going to have to do this again. They have to get another win.
Je despair. I know they're not there anymore, but still. I mean, they do everything right for 90% of the round in both their defensive rounds. It's just one of those situations where you absolutely cannot let it happen. Now the Florida Mutineers have their defense, which they haven't managed to hold themselves. We haven't seen a single defensive win out of these first 3 rounds. Are we going to see one here when it matters for the Florida Mutineers?
Well, pressure is now on. Major Maniac though, Teddy Park, but not able to get that shot down, and he has to run for his life. And that life has been lost. If they can get this, they'll have a significant amount of time to try and enact their revenge and get another offense round. Havoc, slow, steady, looking for Temp, puts a bullet into him and backs off. Major Maniac eventually gets 1 more. There's only 2 Legion players holding this now, but it has been taken. A secured, 2 minutes 10 on the clock for them to try and get B.
It's not typically a solid defensive plan from either one of these teams, but it's very, very fun to watch. The absolute chaos that'll probably ensue with about 5 seconds left to go. We got, well, 1 minute and 40 or so before we hit that point. And the game will burst into life. Clayster will find 2 kills, though. And having Temp in this situation is not a bad thing to have if you are the Legion. There's a kill towards the back. And now if you're Havoc, you need to stay alive in and around the point.
Prolog may just pause this for a second. He's doing so. He doesn't want to give up his life. But any time that clock is stopped gives them another opportunity. They have the life lead. Eventually will be taken down. They have slowed this down now, Legion. They know they have a little bit of time. TJ's going to call that out. He sees Vickle, but he's not able to get him. Vickle gets away. Eventually will be shut down. The silence popped here from TJ. And it is tense for both these 2 teams at the moment. Vegas are doing everything right.
Oh, Havoc, if he turns the corner at the right time, he's got a couple of very free kills. There's 1, there's 2. We're jumping in the pipe for the third. My goodness me, Havoc. Put a cherry on that one. He's inside the green. The rest of the Mutineers are now shoving up. They need to lock this in, though. They can't get caught sprinting.
It all looked so good for the Legion. And enter Havoc. They need a regain. I thought they had that one in the bag, and they just lost so many players. Still have a life advantage, but the time will be the difference here.
Florida Mutineers playing this player who pushes up just a little bit more cutely now. They're losing the gunfights in and around the point. This is a little bit of a stack here from the side of Legion. Now Røkkr will find one, find two. Another kill potentially coming on through. 40 seconds remaining. Legion's still with an advantage here and still with 2 ticks. They've got somebody pushed up in the spawn of the Florida Mutineers as well. Røkkr just trying to find the kill, and he can do. But as Callisto is all the way back there, it's always going to be an issue. If you're Beagle, you got to find a corner. You got to hide.
It's a big way. It might be here. Oh, it was Havoc who got him. It was Havoc who got him. It would have been one of the most disgusting turns on we've seen on Modern Warfare 2, but it is going to be Legion have somehow found defeat from what could have been the jaws of victory. Last chance, last roll of the dice. Legion have to go here on the control. They've got 2 down. There are still players watching. 4.3 seconds left. Prono jumps in, but he gets gunned by Havoc. The rest of the team are flying in as well. Legion are on. 1.8 seconds left to go.
Clears one out. If you clear stage, you're holding time, getting the point. Somebody from Mutineers get in.
What is this control? It's a little bit messy. It's very sloppy, but it is incredibly entertaining. There are gaps in the game plan from both sides. And we go to a round 5. And I think it's based on kills, right? Now everybody's got 6 ticks.
I don't know anymore.
Oh, it's gone so well and so wrong so many times.
I mean, I'd argue at this stage, you know, the team with the supposed advantage would be given defense, but I mean, we haven't seen 1v1 yet. It's Legion with defense, so technically it's their game to lose, but honestly, I don't really know, Bryce. Just don't know what to say.
At the moment, you can see at this point, Legion have defense. Players flying in here, but Clayton, he's going to eventually find one. Could have been a bit of a whiff, but manages to hold it down strong. Rolu just giving some love taps to Major Maniac. I don't know how he didn't get that kill.
Yeah, he seems to have fallen pretty early on every single round, and that will ring true here in round number 5 as well. That's not coming here for the side of Vegas Legion, but honestly, I kind of said it at the beginning of the 4th round. We'll probably not see a great deal until the final 10 seconds, and then, you know, somebody will just decide they find 4 down, and all of a sudden the game will be lost. So hold on to your hats. We've got another minute and 55 seconds of this. And it's being chaotic to say the least. Røkkr vehicle will find 2. A little bit of progress, not a lot of map control. For the side of Vegas Legion on the defensive side, Mutineers are all pushed up and trying to cause some damage here.
Florida already. They're primed. Just waiting. Whoever blinks first. That's exactly the gap they're waiting for. And Vigo and Havoc gets it for 10 man to get one back. Has to lock this one down just a little bit more. The kills are coming through. Brack staying alive so much. Temp eventually does get him. And Temp is the difference maker. 3 here he's found to shut down Florida. And that's the 4th. All 4 for Temp. He rebuffs the push from Florida.
Phenomenal stuff. Florida still with a slight kill lead. Keep an eye on Havoc, number 6 on the minimap. Finds 1 kill over towards Røkkr's side and will now start making a push to try and help freeze teammates from constraints that Vegas Legion have set up. This next kill will be big. TJ sitting in the corner next to the point. He's just ready to move into action. Temp's going to give him the go-to. TJ will get taken down though as Temp now goes for the chance to make that number 6. Streak available. It's going to help out the side of Vegas Legion. And he'll want a little bit more here as well, Bryce.
Temp is gunning. He's the person just holding off Florida. He's going to go down here. PJ looking for the player, has managed to get it, stays alive as well. Eventually going to go down. Temp's going to be calling in that cruise, surely. Here it comes. Do they have enough time? That is the 2nd tick in. Florida are trying to do this once again. Every single player disappearing inside. It has bought them a shred of time, Ton.
It's bought them enough time, no. That's the point. You get back inside if you're the Florida Mutineers. It gives the time for Vegas Legion to get themselves in a better defensive spot. 30 seconds. I don't think the lives are going to come into it, but look at Temp. It's a long route, but he's going to have to get there. The rest of his team just need to stay alive here.
Here comes Temp, finds 1. Huge play for him. Decides to go all the way around, looking for a 2nd kill. No able to get it. Major Maniac, Vico and Havoc all get kills. 1 player left. It's Priestahh. He has to be the major player here for them and doesn't get dying second play. Every offense won. What is that control?
Somebody tell me I'm not already asleep and having nightmares. What on earth is going on? The defensive holds are just non-existent. It feels like you do everything. Both teams did everything right in each single round for about 95% of it. But you can't switch off. You cannot switch off. You see players like that towards the end where Temp makes that route round, but you bank so much on the rest of your team staying alive. He finds one, but then the rest of his team aren't in a position to help him. They don't find the kills, and all of a sudden, you just need to not go 4 or 3 down at the same time every time.
Well, we're going to watch that last 30 seconds again and try to break it down for you. We were waiting on Temp, and he does find one, but the rest of his team don't. Major Maniac comes out. Temp finds that kill. Prolu ends up going down, and Legion just fall under the guns. It's only Clayster who could do anything. Completely cleared out, and there were just so many players against him. We thought maybe Prolu could do something, but the time's ticking away. You have to get into this choke point. Havoc had the positioning, and the Vegas Legion find themselves now down 2-1 in this series after leading.
I don't know. I think it's back to the drawing board, probably for both teams. So on the map in particular, I would say Asilo Control maybe is one to pick against either one of these squads if you're one of the other teams. That was interesting to say the least. We'll maybe put that one in the back of our minds, mostly for our own mental health as we head into map number 4. But what a crazy game. What a crazy. At least it was hellishly entertaining, if maybe not hellishly frustrating all the way through it. But nonetheless, it will be a Vegas Legion lost, and somehow Florida Mutineers have found themselves in the lead here. A very, very good search and destroy performance out of them. You have to say a comfortable win for the side of Legion in map number 1, but that control is something that I think a lot of people would be looking to and go, I just don't actually know what's going on. Crazy.
I'll tell you something.
Pricey.
I'll say always entertaining. I think we can say, regardless of what's happening, always entertaining, and the map was just a highlight fest, and here are just some of them. All the way through, this game could have gone either direction. The truth was the momentum back and forth, back and forth. We thought teams would lose the round. We thought they wouldn't get the point. Then they did, and a 4 down and a 3 down and a 1 down. And it has been breathtaking and a roller coaster and kind of insanity. But neither team looked solid.
Well, they did, though, in fairness. That's what I was saying. That's what was frustrating me the majority of the way through. It felt like, for the most, they were defending relatively well. So there wasn't too much of an extension. It always felt like there was just one player pushed up, or everybody else would kind of sort of sit tight towards the back 10 building, towards that B side defensively. And then kind of just let the press come. And the problem is when that happens is if you all die in and around the point, you don't win a gunfight, there's 3 players on the attacking team very close to the point. They can stack it, that's it. You're in trouble because of how far away you spawn. You need to be almost dying in a better spot. If you're going to die, don't die on the point. You need to be further pushed up to just prevent them from being able to jump on, and then all of a sudden you're immediately in trouble. Yeah, that's one that both teams are going to have to go back to the drawing board. They'll be listening to me commentate this one back and just be like, wow, it's slaughtering them. But I think it's fair, though. Like, both teams did not defend well. And as we said towards the end, the supposed advantage is to have the defensive round, and that was proven to be otherwise for both these two teams, at least anyway.
Yeah, there are certainly lessons to be learned and VOD to be watched. That's what I'm going to take away from that control. They're going to try and figure out where the problems are, and if they can do a little bit better next time around, because Control is done and dusted for this series. Hardpoint will be up next. Last time we saw a hardpoint between these two, Vegas Legion walked away the winner. But can they do it again? Are they feeling themselves? Because I'll tell you something, Florida Mutineers seem like they're in very high spirits.
Yeah, they've got to be feeling good after that. I can't imagine Temp is maybe just a look of disbelief. That's one of those games. Either one of those two teams could have won that 3-0. Either one of those two teams could have beat 3-0. but you're going to put it in the back of your mind now as we head over towards the Mercado Hardpoint. 7 Hills, of course. It's an interesting one to say the least, but we did see a game from the side of Las Vegas Legion on this map yesterday, and just undone by really good play when it does come down to the LA Thieves and how well they performed on this map in particular. So let's see, can they maybe just lock in some hills a little bit better than they did yesterday? I said it, it's a typically 90% of the gameplay coming out of the side of Legion is solid. It's just that other 10% of the time is costing them maybe a little bit too much.
Well, TJ opens up strong, wins that first blood here, and will be the battle of spawn for P2 as well. You can see the way that Vegas are stacking this already. They do not want to give it up.
Keeping hold of that spawn, as you said. Major Maniac. Oof. Free fire coming through, probably just trying to escape, but Simp and Co. Hedges is a good place to start looking down as we make the move over towards Cantina in a second. Major Maniac, though, wins the gunfight, as do the rest of the Florida Mutineers, and it's a push through aLLeY. That's going to be rebutted pretty much immediately as Temp and Co. continue to lock down where they need to. It's a good extension of the lead, pretty much off the rip. 10 seconds left to go. You got control of P2. Brilliant start for the side of Legion.
Yeah, Temp's going to have to cut back here. He's going to have to look for the players he knows are coming. At the moment, they have the advantage. They have the positioning for it. They just need to make sure that nobody gets through and they get easily broken. They've done so much hard work to make this work for them, starting on the preferred side.
Good shots, and this is, if you're the side of Mutineers, the absolute worst spot you could possibly be pushing from. They're trying to find a kill through the mid-map. They have actually managed to get through, though. So Mutineers in a good spot to maybe try and do something. If you're Major Maniac, just try and stay alive. Try and wait for some support from the rest of your team. We'll find one, and that should maybe break open it yet on the side of the Florida Mutineers. But right now, they are being peppered.
Huge job there from Major Maniac.
Rotation.
Keep an eye. Cool. Finds the first. Oh, to look for the second and almost gets caught throwing the tactical. Jumps down. Some athletics coming forward. Vico is just holding them off. He's the player he knows is coming as well, but Bragg has his back. Vico's still staying alive here. This rotation has been immense from them so far, and he's going to get caught. TJ not able to do anything. Vico shuts the door, metaphorically and actually.
Shuts the door, and Legion opens up the door for a potential comeback here for the Florida Mutineers, though. A really good rotation out of him. Putting in the work for his squad. It's so important you get that done. And it does come down to Mercado with certain hills. As we head over towards 10, or as it's known in the game, I think, is it the Elephant Room? God knows. Here we are. Bragg inside the point. Florida Mutineers trying to lock this one down. That's the only one in any sort of position, and I'm presuming probably won't continue that streak. 2 away from the missile. Make that 1. So we see him on the way. Well, he does want to continue this streak because he just jumped straight in.
Well, it's a good chance here from Mutineers. They managed to bring this game back to what can be described as a very small gap. The rotation will be there. His back alley will be crucial, though.
TJ's got to go big here.
Oh, I think they're going to know he's here as well. Look, the nade comes down, but TJ says, all right, well, I'll just kill you instead then. And he'll be waiting for the second player to come through at the same time. Oh, my goodness. Calling it every single step of the way. Now the Legion are set up, and that is a little bit of a slow reaction from Priestahh. I thought he had that one ready to go. Well, now has to hold off a lot of what's coming through here. That's going to blow up as well. Tem is just pre-firing, and he catches him. Holds them off, but he's alone. Now TJ's going to try and do something, but down he falls as well as the Mutineers break this at 33 seconds.
Chaotic at best is what I would call that. Straight through the front door. Works out for the side of Mutineers. TJ does a fantastic job, and to be fair, the majority of the time does go over towards the Vegas Legion, if not just a 50-50 split, and they will get a rotation. Heading back over towards the courtyard, back over towards Tin. Prelude Co ready and waiting. Being squeezed here, though, because of that push in from Bragg. They'll start to get the close spawn. So Mutineers in a position to punish the Major Maniac off the top rope, and all of a sudden it opens up the door for the side of Mutineers to try and break this one.
Holding it down as well, though. He knows the player's going to be here. His teammate died. They're being squeezed from multiple sides. Unfortunately, they are equal to it. More players trying to jump in this one as well as Major Maniac. 5 streak, and he keeps doing doing it with great athleticism, always flying through the air. Tem eventually gets him down as well, though. Havoc reinforcing. At the moment, it was going to be Mutineers who had it, but they've lost it again.
This is utter chaos. That whole hill was just utter chaos. 5 kills now for Tem in a row. Major Maniac and Vehicle, though, just combining back, and it just feels like nobody's got control of this game. Nobody knows which way it's going to go. Everyone's just like, yeah, okay, well, yeah, we could lock this down, or we can just fly at each other time and time again, and I'm down for that. That is absolutely fine with me.
Now, while they are behind at this point, Florida are in a very good position. This is not an easy break. It never has been. They've already opened the door one way. Brack is going to find that first kill into the back, though. Gets that Trevor system down just in the nick of time. More players trying to reinforce. It's a hard force from them, and eventually Vegas do get the kills. Major Maniac tries to get another one, but ProLoot shuts him down, and that's open. They don't even know that's open. They're expecting one more player.
I don't understand that from the Mutineers. Vehicle goes to challenge that, but Vaznet, why are you challenging? You can just chill in that building. You've got an AR up top who can stop the push if he needs to. They're going to break it back because, well, I mean, at this stage in this game, why wouldn't they? Crazy, crazy scenes on both these two teams. But yeah, that seemed like a bit of a misstep by the side of Mutineers, but they'll get it back nonetheless. Heading over towards B7. Neither team really in control here. The spawns probably just about benefiting the side of Mutineers. Get rid of these couple of kills. They're in a good spot. Major Maniac, nice and easy. It's a good rotation out of Florida.
Well, Florida now in the lead, and that could be extended even further. Huge spread out for them as well. Cledger does win a very important gunfight. More players down the back end. They're waiting for that player as well. Brack almost finds the second, but the pinch comes through. TJ manages to slip the net, takes out Major Maniac, and the squeeze comes through. TJ has just managed to break this by getting through back alley when they thought they had enough cover.
It looked like enough cover. And Brack and Co. trying to find a route back in. Kills traded across the board. Clayster will just stay alive and kicking. And it almost feels like a couple of the players, you want the wise heads here, just sort of say, let's just take a deep breath and slow things down. It feels very fast, it feels very frantic, but both teams just matching the other's pace. And whoever revels in the chaos on that hill, Mo is getting away with the extra points. As we head into the second rotation, it is going to be Florida Mutineers with the preferred side heading over in towards P1, and will have that preferred side for P2 if they can hold on to it. But with what we've seen so far, Bricey, well, anything is possible. 3 kills in for Vegas Legion. There's the break that comes on through.
That's huge.
It could go back and huge. Bricey, it could go back and forward 2 or 3 times at this rate.
I'm not going to lie to you, though. That could be very, very important. Vegas Legion there, home to the fight for P1, have managed to flip the spawns, but they have to hold it. They have to take advantage of the hard work they've just done. TJ, this is huge, and he is going to go down. Legion have lost it again. You're right, Ton. It was going to flip a couple more times. I don't know who's getting control at the moment, but both teams are fighting for it. ProLoot's here again, as well as Havoc.
Oh, is probably going to get away. No, he isn't. And now Callista in bottom cantina, but it's looking like Florida are going to be the ones that benefit from the spawn. They pick up the final 10 seconds or so if they can hold on to that hill. And it's only Callista here to try and do something. Finds his way up top. And he finds his kill on his right-hand side. That sucks for the side of Callista. But that last little bit of scrap time, going to go over towards the side of Vegas Legion. It's about a 20-point game, but P2 can spell danger for the Mutineers. Could lock a full 60 here.
Well, here we go.
They're getting a lot of info here because of how far Brack is pushed up. They should know where they're coming from.
It's slow, it's steady. Vegas are trying to just get through. They've managed to get some bodies in the area. They're now going to get into the house, and Temp makes a huge gunfight as well as TJ breaking in. Major Maniac now has to hold them off. He has top control, but nothing else, and down he goes as well. What a break by the Legion.
Wonderfully done. Both two teams, holes in the game, absolutely, but it is making for an entertaining one, to say the least. Vehicle now trying to break back with the rest of Florida. They're trying to push in. There's 20 seconds left to play for here. Could be a huge swing if Havoc can find the breakthrough. Brack is there for the trade. 15 seconds to go, and the rotation belongs to the Mutineers as well. If they can find these first couple of kills, this is massive from Florida. They slow down the time that's going on over towards P2. They find the P3 rotation, but they need to hold again.
Well, at the moment, and they did have a few more bodies in the area here at Vegas, but Florida are holding it down. Major Maniac is still alive. He knows where they're coming from as well. Absolutely gun Clayster out of that building. And now Vegas have a hard break again.
Mutineers can win it yet. Legion can no longer. But it needs to be a perfect hold. Major Maniac Brack combining well. Looking towards the push, and it's actually going to be a spawn out from the side of Mutineers, so they're going to get a pinch just by proxy. Vehicle now come around behind, needs the rest of your team to stay alive, but Vehicle to the rescue. They don't even need him. It's 2 easy kills, and Florida Mutineers are 20 away. TG will find the break. He'll actually find that. He'll find the break. I don't know. Clayster finds 3. What on earth is going on in this game?
Clayster's found something. Just a little bit, and now his team have to capitalize. They're already in back alley. They're in the barbers. The game's not over. Reinforcements flooding in. That back alley is stacked trophies and players.
Here they come. Brack with drop shot around the corner. The old classic. Temp just holding down the alley. The comms must be fast and frantic here. Florida Mutineers getting the time. They're in the point. If you're Legion, you have to break. Florida Mutineers at 15 away. Tempest's got to do something. The rest of his team back here. Prolo just straight through the front door. Gives somebody else a haircut inside of Barbers. Brack is away back to the respawn queue. And Legion are in the point.
Prolo on 1 health. Desperately stacking this point. They're doing everything they can. Tem coming to reinforce. It's the last seconds of this one. Look at it. They're just waiting. Here comes the push. The big push from Florida coming in. Hammer gets the first one as well. Clayster just throwing bullets down. TJ gets 2. They're back into the point. Temp is just spraying everything back alley, and that's a wipe. That is it. It's going to be done and dusted. The Legion have managed to hold on and fight back against Florida. We are going to a map number.
Get there. Oh, he's so close.
We're going to a map 5 ton. It was written in the stars. Whew. I'll tell you something.
Game.
The Legion just pulling that one out of the fire. I was expecting a bigger reaction.
I'm on breath.
How on earth have they done that? Clayster with the 3-piece in tin. He broke them just enough. Just enough.
Oh my. If this is indicative of what kind of year we're about to have, then we are in for a banger, ladies and gents. Wow, wow, wow. I mean, structurally, we could delve into it, but I actually don't care anymore because it was all over the shop. It has to be said. But it doesn't matter when the game's like that. You saw it like, as soon as Vehicles spawned out and had the pinch, Florida alive and kicking in the point. Clears that 3-piece, breaks it. All of a sudden, we're heading over towards Barbershop. And it is an absolute brawl all the way through that final hill. I am perplexed, to say the least. Hotel Search and Destroy to finish off this absolute lunacy of a series.
You thought the control was a little bit chaotic. Well, the hardpoint was even more so. We have a map 5 coming up between these two teams. Who wins it, who knows, but we'll see you after this break while we catch our breath. Don't go anywhere. More action here on the Call of Duty League.
Upgrade your game with a Scump, the official controller of the Call of Duty League.
Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to the Call of Duty League. Vegas Legion and Florida Mutineers are tied again after the break, 2-2 from these two teams. It's been what can only be described as passionately chaotic in the last two maps we've seen here, and that has sent us to our final map. This will be settled on S&D one way or the other.
Oh, it feels like a drunken bar fight, this one, Brycey. It's bizarre, it has to be said. A crazy game. I said we've seen flaws pretty much from both two teams in these last two maps, but it is not taken away from what has been the entertainment of a brilliant series. First two maps were mostly comfortable for both two teams, it has to be said. The Search and Destroy, Florida Mutineers looked fantastic. Legion was sloppy. Map number one, we've seen some sloppy beginnings, I want to say, from the side of the Florida Mutineers. Did I say Paris again? You know what? I don't even know at this stage. The last two maps, though, have been so chaotic. If you're just coming in now, you need to make sure you watch these two back because it was wild. I said I'm delirious at this stage. But map number 5 is coming up. It's going to be Hotel Search and Destroy, a map that I want to say, it has its fast break-offs. You can play it slowly. So who knows what we're going to expect here coming into map number 5. It is anybody's guess at this rate.
It certainly is. I mean, the only kind of stats we have for this is that technically Legion won an S&D yesterday and they lost one today, and Mutineers won one today, and that's basically as far as we know. So your guess is as good as ours of what happens in this last one. The only thing you could possibly say is maybe momentum swings a little bit towards the team of Vegas, but on the other side of it, the last S&D between these two was very confident for the Mutineers.
Yeah, it was really good from the Mutineers, it has to be said, but it definitely felt like the Legion weren't necessarily adapting to what Mutineers were doing, which was kind of just holding mid with a sniper. Then they would make that push through late, and it was just free open mid all the time. Of course, Hotel's very different than Mercado. There's at least 2 viable bomb sites, it has to be said. So let's see which way things are going to go in this one. It is very different map to Mercado Search and Destroy. Will Mutineers feel that confidence that they did throughout that second map after losing map number 4 like that? That's another question. Experience does belong to the side of Paris as we head into game number 5 to close out the day in what has been a cracker of a series. It's been a great series, also been a pretty crazy one, has to be said. Temp though, he was the guy that got those important kills for a team towards the end, holding down that alley as best as he possibly could. It was 2 or 3 to lock in those final few points. Can he be the guy that finds the winner here in map number 5?
Well, there's only one way to find out. Big push coming in from the Legion so far.
Over towards B. Starting to come in now. It's going out. Havoc and Coach is going to have to hold on tight here. Very weak. Good play from the side of Legion. Now they have full control of Kitchen.
They're waiting for this one. They're just trying to figure out where exactly he needs to look and playing it patient. Probably hearing footsteps all around him. It's all balanced on a knife edge.
It's like nobody wants to move. All 2 teams with plenty of bodies. Bullets going through the wall there. Don't think anybody actually gets tagged. Well, Brock's definitely being tagged by that though, so do Legion choose to move forward? Well, they don't, and Major Maniac comes around, slipped through the back door, and gets out like a thief in the night. Dead silence popped. Good fights going on in mid-map. It's all of a sudden a 2v2, Bryce.
They have to push to get a Major Maniac knows, and oh my goodness, the timing. Where's Clayster to go? And Clayster gets the timing as well. 1 versus 1. And Vehicle just runs away, knowing that's bombed down, knowing he just has to get out of it. And here comes the timing, and he gets the kill anyway. Unreal.
It felt difficult to kind of ascertain who was attacking and defending there. When we were sitting in and around the kitchen, it was a strange situation to say the least. Both 2 teams just kind of stacked in and around it. Which way does it go? We don't know in the end. It heads over towards the side of Mutineers. I mean, in that situation, KiSMET in a great spot, and just timings across the board, really, from both two teams don't go their way, but in the end, it is ultimately Mutineers who benefit. Vehicle 3-0, and has to be said, his first CDL showing. Seen some positive signs from him. Maybe not that challenge.
Two-piece to two-piece.
Step by into kitchen as well. That's now going to be a problem for the side of Legion.
Big fighter will come down. Temp's going to get it, surely, and does catch him before he can escape. Havoc, a 1 versus 2, and also the ace, if he can pull this off somehow.
We've seen an ace already from him in this series. That silence used up. Oh, he's going to be spotted as well. That's tough. Vaz never this situation.
Ciao.
Yeah, you don't fancy his chances. I mean, they know where he is. It's one of those that you could wrap back around, but you're always in a tough spot in that scenario.
Well, comes flying out, and there are multiple players watching him. 1-1 now between Vegas Legion and Florida Mutineers. Who pulls ahead? Who stamps their authority on this game?
And honestly, it's kind of been, well, I mean, those kills that even came through there towards the mid, it was a mid-map fight that kind of came off even. And honestly, as soon as Havoc was behind them, I thought they had a good chance there, but Mutineers couldn't hold the advantage that they had. Big stack over towards A, though. Legion just scoping this one out. Placed it. Now bedroom control is pretty much paramount for both two sides when it comes down to attacking or defending. Over towards the safe site. Legion starting to stack. That grenade will deter Vehicle. You'll have to back up and Legion make their move.
Oh, Major Maniac just can't see it, but this player surely can't get out alive, and he does. The smoke from the grenade gives him just enough cover. Rack opens it up. Gets one down, and they're looking for this Temp laying on the stairs, hoping to just catch somebody who comes out here and makes this push.
Havoc needs to get over there pretty quickly.
Finds one.
Around, yeah, that Temp already finding another. 2 versus 3. This is still very doable for the side. Vegas Legion. Dead silence pop. KiSMET finds one. 2v2.
Temp keeps repositioning. KiSMET finds a second as well. And Vehicle last alive finds KiSMET. Can he find Temp? No. And KiSMET is hyped. Some passion flowing at the Legion.
He does so well towards the back. Temp there for the trade. Takes a little bit of damage, but not to worry.
Well, advantage to the Legion. It feels so close. Let's find out now if Mutineers can answer back.
Sniper's out. Starting to open the doors. Day to peek in. Oh, KiSMET! Picture perfect. Absolutely picture perfect from KiSMET. Opens things up. Defensive round advantage now for the side of Vegas Legion.
Who can he see? They're playing around this snipe pick again. They're going to wait for Clay maybe to clear it. No, Clay's backed off. Proluk will be the player who might have an opportunity to seize this. At the moment, that bomb is going down. Vehicle is planning, and he should be able to get away from this cleanly. Oh, he almost jumped straight into a gunfight then. He's going to use the smoke of the grenade, but it's not going to be enough.
Doesn't get over. Clears the top bedroom with the sniper. In this sort of situation, he needs to find a pick, because unless he does, he's completely useless. But Proluk will find the kill. And all of a sudden, Havoc left in a 1 versus 3.
Well, if anyone can do it, Havoc can. Finds the first, looks for the second. They've got to chow him. They've got to go for it and tries the gun, but it is perfect teamwork. They chow at the same time. And they get away with it.
We're definitely going to have to run that KiSMET snipe back. Perfectly played. Vegas Legion, another round their way.
There it is again. Oh, the pixels. The tiny margins from that player just taking the top of their head clean off.
Clay is feeling it here, and map number 5. As I said, the experience belongs to the side of Vegas Legion, and it's the experience carrying them through 5 and 2, respectively, from both Temp and Priestahh. Pick it over towards B, though, potentially this time for the side of Vegas Legion. Havoc, hold tight, son. Does he hear them? Yes, he does.
Oh, he knows something's coming through. All the next coming through as well. Havoc's going to be close and absolutely destroyed before he can get anything going. Fast plant now coming in from Vegas. Major Maniac going to push straight into this one as well. Looking for it. He finds Clayster in the back. Down he goes. Nobody has covered that for him. Major Maniac going for the second plant, but I don't think he's going to see him down as well. And now Vehicle left in a 1 versus 2. It's all going to Vegas at the moment.
Oh, Temp's going to charge. Temp's going to be very, very weak. Doesn't know which way to go here. If your Vehicle, the wide angle P comes on through. Vegas Legion, another round here in map number 5. And honestly, I feel like that really does come down to Temp. The late rotation from him. He sends himself over towards B. Just a little bit of recon work, if you like, as the rest of the team head first into kitchen to plant that bomb. He rotates late, catches players off guard on the way around. Fantastic stuff from the side of Legion. Much better from them in this Search and Destroy map in particular. They were poor on map number 2, where this has been quite clinical from the side of Legion so far.
Let's see. Mutineers fight their way back into this. They've had so much greatness in this series so far. And they do it again. Another big push coming down here. Looking for it. Clayster behind that door. Everybody just ready for things to kick off. Bomb will go down. Clay may try and make this happen. If he does get it as well. Stays alive, but he is trapped in a corner. They're going out.
Look at Havoc. Look where Havoc is. He's right in. Oh, I mean, he was right in the nest, if you like. But TJ will find the kill. It's now a 2 versus 4 hold for Mutineers, and this is going to be impossible. Temp will be the first one to go. Next kill is
down as well, but Major Maniac takes down 2. He's weak. He's still alive though. Still alive on 1 health point. He's still alive. Clayster has to go for a 1 versus 2. Finds the first, but has no time, and Brack just has to wait him out. And he will get the kill, but it doesn't really matter. That bomb will go off, and Mutineers will get a point onto it. Major Maniac holding it down for Mutineers.
Second kill is absurd from Major Maniac. Crazy round. The aggression comes through, and Priestahh has been an absolute host over towards this site every single time. Whether it be attack, defend, he's getting the job done. But in that scenario, where Major Maniac just comes up with plays like that, there's not much that you can counter it with. So Mutineers, a slither of hope.
Oh, there's a stun check. Another stun check. Just gonna find him as well, and Clayster will get that first blood. However, I think they're going to try and bait this one out. Are they going to rotate to Clay, or are they going to use Clay as bait to try and go the other way? It looks like they're rotating to Clay.
So Major Maniac is obviously going to be very important here. Brack is not going to see a great deal, if anything. But that noise will now start coming through if you're Major Maniac. I'm just trying to survive as best as I can. Finds one. If he can find a second, it would be brilliant. He will not. Brack towards the back. Needs some help. Does have some utility. That door is shut. Oh, it wasn't. I mean, I don't know what's going on with the door. Nonetheless, now it is
Keep
shut.
closing the door on him. Bomb down, 3 versus 2. They are laying down and taking every single corner here. It's not easy. It's not easy. It's so difficult. Brack is trying to find something as he sprays through the wall. A couple of hit markers, but nothing else. Beagle going to try and help him out here, but at some point they just have to go.
Everybody in there tight. This gunfight could still work out for Mutineers. A couple of players weak, and you might just think of sending it. Temp moves forward, tries to find a kill. It's a misstep to say at the least. 12 seconds left to go. Probably.
Gonna go for it, just has to get the kill on it as well, and he doesn't. He gets gunned down, and that is defused. Mutineers with a 2 versus 3 clutch. They get all 3 players. And Legion thought that was in. It was locked. That is going to be a rewatch at some point. They just had to hold off 2 players, but they don't win a gunfight. They don't get a single kill.
2 huge clutches from the side of Mutineers to get them back within touching distance here on map number 5.
Temp ran out with a knife. I just rewatched it.
I know. Yeah, was it with a knife?
Yeah.
I mean, if he pulls it off, yeah, we give him his plaudits. But it doesn't, and all of a sudden you brought a knife to a gunfight, you're dead, and you've just lost the round.
Here we go again. Vehicle trying to stretch this one. Has managed to get it.
He's going to get out as well, you know. Yeah. Or at least survive. Grenade for the cover. Gets it. Eagle is across and in a dangerous, dangerous spot. Prolu can't challenge this. Look at number 1.
Waiting for the flank.
Look at Temp. Big gunfight about to go down.
He's not going to get it. He's going to go down. And now Prolu is trying to do something from a very difficult position. Major Maniac gets another kill at this point. He's popped the Teddy for it as well. And the Teddy will catch him in the animation. It's 4-4. The Legion is breaking under the pressure. Florida Mutineers have fought their way back into it.
Things will start to get very, very tense. We said that this game is important for both of these 2 teams. Things do not get any easier than this. And that's not any disrespect to either one of these 2 teams. It's just their schedules are hard. There are no easy games in the CDL, and this is proving it.
Let's see.
I mean, here's a wolf packing.
They are. Vigil's the only player who could slow this down, and he has to. Keep an eye on Temp, though. It looks like he may be the stopgap. He has the TAC 56 out. I don't think he knows that so many players are coming at him as well. He's going to be flanked. He is going to go down. That bomb has been taken out as well, and Florida are now just clearing house. Prolu left alive in a 1 versus 4. Nowhere to go. No hope. And Florida take the lead. 5-4 in this S&D.
Wonderfully orchestrated by the side of Florida Mutineers. Vehicle just does enough to put them off, to keep them away. And Tim's not going to read into that because he's peeking over. Bullets are flying his way, but that 211 days may extend. As Florida Mutineers now in the ascendancy. They were 4-1 down. They are 5-4 up.
The Vegas Legion have it in them to regain. That bomb's going down already.
Stack. It's a mid stack.
Proloads. Gonna get away with it though. Backs off very, very quickly, and that bomb's going down with confidence. Florida will have the advantage.
Get back on up. I feel like this one's on Prolid to try and find a kill on the flank. Priestahh, a grenade over towards Vehicle. He goes down. Prolid, massive kill coming in. It's a 4 versus 2. It's a 4 versus 1. And round 11 beckons.
Of course. After everything we've seen this series, it has to come down to this. We will be going map 5, round 11. A fight to the very bitter end. Legion found something. And now let's see. One last opportunity for both teams.
Well, me, you, and the tens of thousands, if not nearly 100,000 in the Twitch chat right now are here to enjoy the very first map 5, round 11 of the Modern Warfare 2 season. Let's see how it goes down between the Vegas Legion and the Florida Mutineers. What a game this has been in such an important series for both these two teams. How does it go down? It's going to be Mutineers on the attack. Temp all alone. Needs to find a kill here, or even just get out. Oh, he stunned himself. It's a disaster. He's already dead, and Vehicle and Colt are in the kitchen, and they are cooking.
Vehicle's found another. Vehicle is here. Catches him. Have it takes one, and it's just close to left, and down he goes. It doesn't end with a bang, it ends with a whimper for the Legion. Nothing went right. Everything went wrong. And the Florida Mutineers get it done.
An absolute banger. There was mistakes, there was flaws, but all of them perfect in their own little way, Brycey, because that was thoroughly entertaining. Both two teams somewhat throwing caution to the wind and just flying at each other all day long. Every single map had its moments. And the search and destroy, if you're the Vegas Legion, you are I believe 4-1 up if I remember correctly, and cruising. Look at those first bloods. That is 8 first bloods out of 11 rounds, and you lose 6-5.
I honestly think the Legion were a little bit put off by the Florida Mutineers attacking kind of decisions, like that vehicle stretch with the bomb.
Yep, constantly getting it down. Constantly getting it down.
I just think it really hurt them. They just weren't expecting it. They didn't really have a counter for it. They only managed to take that vehicle cleanly once after it, but yeah, a lot to break down as S&D. Florida managed to fight back. They held their nerve, and they walk away with a win here in the CDL.
It's just a great series. I mean, it had its moments here and there. This is wonderful from Priestahh. Fantastically done. And I love the plays from Vehicle, the grenades going down to smoke on the cross. We heard about it. There you go, 4-1 to the Legion. And I believe it's a 2 versus 4 to make it 4-2. Miniac can do, and then Practical just coming up. And then this round as well. And fumbles across the board from Vegas Legion. 2 rounds where you say to yourself, you probably shouldn't be losing. And those 2 rounds would have made a massive difference.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Well, yes, of course. Well, that's what I mean. You can't, when it comes to a 6-5, you can't afford to be losing 2 versus 4s. You can't afford to be 3 men inside a kitchen, bomb down, and one of your players running out with a knife.
Well, he must have run out of ammo. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. That's what I will say. He must have run out of ammo from all the firing that had gone on beforehand, but it's unfortunate. Sometimes that's the way it works, but the 2 versus 3 just never worked out for them, and I'm sure our studio has a million things to say about this one. So, Puckett, over to you.
Thank you, gentlemen. That is back-to-back games that hurt my head, but we got our Game 5, Round 11. I was telling production, it's been too easy of a day. We're going the distance, and my Mutineers are going to make me 2 for 2 on the desk. How are your predictions going, Alley Cat and Nameless?
Dude.
I'd rather not talk about it, Puckett, if you don't mind.
Let's talk about this match then. Interesting game back and forth. If you looked at game number 1, a lot of momentum for Vegas. Search and Destroy comes around, though, and I start to notice the Mutineers got a strength on the squad. When it came to that game 5, though, Allie, should we have even been close to a round 11? I think the casters commentated on it. 8 first bloods for Legion, and you lose 6-5.
I'm going to be completely honest with you. This entire series was a headache from beginning to end. And then in that game 5, we just witnessed a breakdown. You do not go up 4-1 and you give up that many rounds to go into round 11 and not even be able to close it out, especially with the momentum a player like Clayster has put in your side. That snipe was a pixel.
Yes.
It was insane. Everything should have gone for Paris Legion, and it was just hiccup after hiccup after hiccup. I mean, they were in a beautiful position to put the bomb down A side. If you work so hard to trick them to think you're going to be that long on a map like Hotel, and you finally get the situation where they send 3 players into kitchen and have 1 on A, and you're not even trying to plant the bomb, and then you don't even have somebody properly set up to watch the back and just get pushed out. It was a breakdown.
Some mistakes in the game. I think everyone's going to go over their VODs and realize where they can improve. And there was a lot of improvement to do on both sides of this. But the Mutineers are coming in. They have everyone against them on social media. They've got a brand new roster, and they just pulled off the W. They did have a Scump play of the game as well, Ant, and we should revisit some of the good parts of this series because the Mutineers walk away 3-2.
Yeah, I think it's probably the play Alley was just breaking down. It's that search and destroy round where, you know, they're set up inside a kitchen on the side of Legion, and right now this is an extremely tough position if you're the Mutineers, but Temp gives them a freebie. He runs out with his knife in his hand, and that's going to allow the other teammate as well in Florida to collapse. They get the second kill, and from here on out, they have the advantage. They have the positioning, and you could just use the 2v1 and wait for the guy to kill you off bomb, and that's a GG. I mean, that's patience. They listen for the sound cue. They got the freebie, and they execute the win.
Like, I know Brycey was trying to be like, oh, well, maybe he was out of ammo. That doesn't mean you run out of side door. Like, the only thing I can think of is maybe he was trying to get the drop on the 2 players because he knew both of them were back there. But even then, you're a man up. You have Prolute inside on the backside to watch either if TJ gets pushed or if Temp gets pushed. And then Temp pushes himself. And so what that does is Prolute now looks where Temp dies. He gives up TJ. TJ loses his gunfight. My brain, Chris, my brain, I can't wrap my head around it.
I do have to say, if anyone is making a montage at home, we saw the snipe of the CDL so far. Thank you, Clayster, for that. Donnie Temp, we saw a bad finish to that round 11, but you started off the game 5-1. I think the Vegas crew has a lot of things to look forward to the rest of this season. A rough opening week, though, Ant.
Yeah, it was a rough opening week for sure. But then also, like, even in the Hardpoint, they didn't rotate a lot, but they had some pretty wild breaks.
Huge breaks.
To do. Like, literally winning their... Like, the gunny was there for the Vegas Legion boys. They just got to refine some of the smaller things within the game. That teamwork just has to come stronger next time.
There we go. Seattle Surge, they were able to go up against Boston Breach. Breach wins that one. Now we see Vegas Legion coming in with an 0-1. They now joined the Surge at 0-2. Florida Mutineers, though, sitting at 1-0. And I got to ask you, what was the thing that stood out from the squad that impressed you, if anything, aLLeY? If you're going back and you're watching some VOD prepping to play against this team, what do you got to look out for?
Honestly, I have to say it was the control, because I know going into this, I already noted that Florida Mutineers is going to be a good search and destroy team. You could look at them on paper. I already knew they were going to succeed when it comes to map 2 and 5. But in the control, I think is what caught me off by surprise, is they played around each other incredibly well. They molded well as a team that I didn't really expect to happen. They waited for each other. We're talking about control that was 5 offenses in a row. Impressive by both teams, but the way Florida executed it was just, it was picture perfect. They waited for each other, they played the picks, and they stacked the points. So watch out for Florida Mutineers being the 2-3-5 team.
There we go. Can they get it done in Game 5s all season? I hope not. I want to see him win more Respawn. Right now, we got the man Havoc on the line, and I got to ask you, Havoc, I hooked you up coming in. I was like, this is my guy from AW. He's been causing problems in Search since that first game that I witnessed you in. Whose call was it that round 11 to just do the full bull rush and it hit Legion, put them on their back?
$10 was Havoc.
Yeah, man. That was a... First of all, that was a series. Second of all, welcome back, Puckett. And yeah, so the last round, I was like, wait, we haven't done our B shot. We were like, let's just all hit B here. Like, what do you think, Mike? Because he's also very involved with the shot calling. And he was like, yeah, you know what? I'm down. And then we just went ahead with it. They were doing it to us all map, and it ended up working out really good. I almost naded myself and team naded. But it worked out. So.
It almost. Fortunately, one of your stuns caught Donnie Temp, and that slowed down his whole defensive plan. You guys just stormed in after that, and you walk away with your first dub of the season. Can you tell me a little bit about the formation of the team, though? Because if you went to social media, everyone's saying, when is Florida going to announce their team? When are they going to come together? You guys now have your 4-man lineup. How did this team get put together, and what are your expectations for this first stage?
It's Hobby. We picked him up. So our team formed pretty late. We were kind of like the last, remaining good pickups. And I think we got really blessed with the people that we got to pick up. I mean, personality-wise, like, we're all really good friends right now. And obviously, hopefully moving forward for the rest of the season. And we just meshed really well. And we knew from the beginning of practice that over time, once we dial in our game, we're gonna be hard to beat.
Love to hear it.
Yeah, definitely. And sorry to talk over you guys when you do that. I was like, I know it's Havoc that made their play call. Like, I just know when it comes to some insane, like, momentum changes in S&D, it's usually you, because you usually have something crazy. Like, you know what? Let's just do something off the wall. And it certainly caught them off guard. Temp even stunned himself in that position. You caught him so off guard in that cat call room. But my question for you now is that control. It was 5 offenses in a row. That is not something we have really seen in this game at all. Winning an offense has been impressive so far. So I want to dig your brain a bit in scrims. Has that been something that has been happening for you guys, or is that just like an in-series, like, crazy phenomenon?
So I was actually talking to Tom Ogre 2, our manager, and I was like, he was like, does that happen in scrims right after? And I was like, honestly, like, no, like, that map is relatively moderate to win an offense. It's pretty neutral, but 5 in a row, like, you can't predict that.
5 in a row. It's been some ridiculous stuff here on opening week. Before we let you go, Havoc, because you got to celebrate with the team. We know Big Vic's getting excited in the background. What do you think about this game right now? Where is your greatest strength as a player coming late in your career now?
Yeah, so I'm loving the game. I think it fits my playstyle personally really well. I've been known lately in my career to be like kind of ratty, which means like, you know, getting in like pushed up spots or like being a nuisance on the map or taking good routes. And I think that's going to be my strong suit this year. I just got to keep working at it, open mind, you know, take all the criticism from my great teammates, and that'll be my strong suit for the year.
Havoc, you're a young man, but what is it, 9th season for you? It's great to see you killing it still and doing it in the Florida Mutineers jersey. Congratulations on that ballsy 11th round call and your first dub of the season, buddy.
Thank you.
That is Colt Havoc. You're going to see him all season for the Florida Mutineers. And also, big shout out to my man, Tommy Ryan, a.k.a. Ogre 2, the greatest Halo player in the history of esports. He is now the GM of Florida, and he's got something good brewing down there. Let's talk about Havoc's stat, though, in particular, Nameless, as we break down the numbers for this, man. He's been bringing some inconsistent numbers throughout his career. Another good day here in the CDL.
I mean, I think last year he sort of figured it out. Like, he got picked up into that Minnesota team and started frying, and now he finds himself on a squad that wins the first game. And, you know, he looked good throughout it, especially in that control. He had some really big plays for the squad on that last offense. If it wasn't for him getting that kill onto Clayster, I don't know if they were going to be able to take that one down. But he's just an elusive player on the map. SMG player is going to be up close and personal, making plays and search and destroy. He's going to be a thorn in your side. Like, he's a great player to have on your team.
Yeah, watch your flank, man. Havoc's coming at you from a side you're not expecting. Mutineers get the W there, but that's not the only match we got to recap. Let's go through all of today's action, starting with the first pick that I got right. Minnesota Røkkr versus Toronto Ultra. All of the experts are saying Ultra's the team to beat. Well, Minnesota showed me enough yesterday to give me some faith, and, well, they came through for me in this battle.
Oh, they certainly did. And honestly, I'd like to say that Afro certainly came through for you in this battle. Continuation from what we saw on Friday. I mean, he was just literally unstoppable, and I'm happy to see this consistency from a rookie that was last year a bit, you know, when we got on land it was a bit questionable, but online was seemingly frying, but couldn't find a whole lot of success under the London Royal Ravens. Now on this Minnesota Røkkr squad has seemed to found his home. And on the other side of things, the Toronto